Alright guys, attempting to do some more videos of little projects we got going on. So today, what I'm working on here is getting water to my trees running along my little creek from the pond. So the idea was that as the pond gets filled from the well, water would run down my little creek here from our storage tank. Well, since we've put it in the grass, the storage tank does not overflow as much as it used to, so we are having to open up the valve on the storage tank to run water into the pond. And in the meantime, the trees that we planted this year are not getting quite enough water. So I have resorted to hooking this hose up to the tank and watering these things about every 2 or 3 days. But while their roots are growing and getting closer to the homemade creek here, we're going to put in a drip line on a hose timer, and it's all just gravity fed. There's no pump, but that's what we wanted. We wanted to just use the extra water coming out of the tank going into the pond to water the trees. So here you go. We'll give you the list of what you need to put in some temporary drip line. You can do this permanently if you want to bury the drip line a little bit. We do not want to, because I don't need a drip line. Once these trees' roots get into the creek bed, they will just start getting water out of that creek bed as we turn it on a couple times a week to keep the pond full. But for now, since it's been so hot, we're going to put in a drip line. So here it is. Here's your list. So first, you're going to want some drip line hose. That's 100 feet of drip line right there. Drip tubing. Then you're going to need the connectors and spaghetti line to come off of that. That's what I call it. It's just 1/4 inch tubing. These are the drips we're going to put in there. They have a little stake that'll hold them down, and there's a piece in there to poke your hole into this drip line and connect the spaghetti lines. Obviously need a cap for the end to stop the water, one attachment for the hose, and then, like I said, we're going to put a hose timer on it just because this is all temporary. So this is battery powered. You hook one end of that, turn on your timer, and then it will run water through your hose and to your trees. So we're going to get started, and then I'll show you the final product. All right, we're going to start by putting this hose connection on one end. Just squeezes on there. I have to give it a little bit of a twist to get it started, but it is a pressure fitting, so get it in there as best you can. Better you get it in there without messing up the pipe, less likely chance you'll have some leaks. All right, and then on the other end we'll put the cap. So that'll stop the water from coming out the end. All right, so we got the hose all laid out. As you can see here, I connected a garden hose for the first 15 feet or so. Our drip line hose was a little short, and I didn't want to use more, and I had this piece of garden hose. So I'm going to turn this on, make sure it has pressure in it, no major leaks. Drip line will leak from time to time. As you can see there, it's not leaking. You don't want any kinks or anything real heavy on it without putting pressure in it. Otherwise it'll just slow down your flow, especially when you're gravity fed like this. Just come down here. You can see we made it to this little tree. We need to go to that tree there. So I'm gonna have to put some of that smaller spaghetti line or extend our hose. We'll see if the spaghetti line will work, so I'm not using more of this hose. Let's try to get this, see where our pressure is here. Hear the air coming. Get the air out of the line, make sure we got water flow. Oh, there we go. Alright. So we're going to cap this back off, and then I'll show you guys installation of the spaghetti line. So we've pre-cut some spaghetti line so I can show you with one hand. These are our drips that we're going to put in next to the trees here. Show you this first one, then we'll get the rest done. So your first thing is here, this drip came with an attachment here. One of these, this comes off. Okay, this will go into the pipe here, and the spaghetti line will go into the other end. I'll show you how we do that. It's right here, sharp little poking tool. Poke your hole. You got water flow. Put your fitting in there. And put your hose on. There you go. I'm going to connect your other piece here. Again, hard to do with one hand, but connect this here and stick it in the tree, or next to the tree, and I'll show you here in a second. Alright, so there it is. Got that rock holding it down, because again, I'm not burying any of these lines. Typically they're made to be buried a few inches underground, but this is all temporary, so I'm going to pull this all up in winter. Now again, these here are made for 0 to 30 gallons per hour. Now that's on a pressurized system. This is not pressurized, so it may run a little slower than that. Probably turn them on for a couple hours every few days, see how that does. You can see it's coming out fairly slow, even though I got it opened up all the way. They have little valves on the top, adjustments on the top. You twist open and close to give you more or less water. So here it is. Got our storage tank. Got a valve here for the gravity fed water. Eventually we'll put this hose battery powered timer so that it goes off on its own. Right now I'm going to let it run, see how long it takes to water these trees real good. Connected a hose to it. Came down here to the poly drip line, 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch line, I guess, 1/2 inch. Run that down. Again, no kinks. You don't want kinks in it, especially since we're gravity fed. Otherwise it would not get the water flow that it needs. Attach the spaghetti line, 1/4 inch drip line with a fitting there. Let the water, adjust the water coming out for each tree. And again, this is all temporary. It's why we didn't bury it. Come down here to this one. Got this one flowing a little bit more. It's a bigger tree, deeper roots. And then worked our way down to our 3rd tree here. This one's probably flowing a little bit too fast. You can see it's filling up fairly quick, so turn that down a bit. And you want it to drip slow, because then you get more penetration from the moisture. So you want it to run for about an hour. Like I said, these valves you can set to 30 gallons per hour all the way down to 0. I don't know exactly what we're set at because we're not on a high pressure system or low pressure. We're just on a gravity fed. So, and then here we ran out of the 1/2 inch drip line, so we came off with spaghetti line and ran the extra 30 feet we had down the creek bed, wash to our last tree here. We're gonna speed this one up a little bit because this is a bigger tree, uses quite a bit of water. So there you have it. That's our temporary watering system for our trees until they can get some good roots and start getting the water they need off the water that we run down this creek bed here for the pond. So there you have it, guys. If you got any questions or want to know more about this drip system, send us a message in the comments and I'll try to answer the best I can.